It's a little after 3 in the morning. The house is silent. And then, you feel it. That prickle on the back of your neck that tells you something has changed. You open your eyes and there's your cat, sitting perfectly still in the middle of the room. Not looking at you, not looking at the door. Staring at an empty corner, ears swiveled forward, pupils blown wide and black. Tracking something slowly across a wall where there is absolutely nothing there. And in that moment, a single thought crawls up your spine. What do they see that I can't? If you've ever seen this, you are very far from alone. Across the world, millions of cat owners describe the exact same scene, the sudden stillness, the locked gaze, the invisible thing being watched with total focus. For centuries, people had only one explanation for it. They believed cats could see what we were never meant to see. Spirits. Ghosts. Visitors from the other side of the veil. But the real answer is, in many ways, even stranger than the ghost story. Because the truth is hiding inside your cat's own body. Tonight, we're going to find out exactly what's in that corner. To understand why we fear what cats stare at, we have to go back thousands of years. In ancient Egypt, cats were sacred. The goddess Bastet was depicted with a feline head, and cats were believed to guard the boundary between the living world and the realm of the dead. People thought a cat's gaze could pierce the darkness and see the souls that wandered there. And it wasn't just Egypt. Across folklore from Japan to the British Isles, cats were said to sense spirits, predict death, and watch over doorways into other worlds. The legend was everywhere. But legends usually grow around something real, a behavior so strange that people needed an explanation. So let's start with the most obvious suspect, the eyes. Your cat's eyes are not just bigger versions of yours. They're built on a completely different design. Behind the retina sits a mirror-like layer called the tapetum lucidum. It bounces light back through the eye a second time, which is why a cat's eyes glow in the dark, and why they can see in light 6 times dimmer than anything you can perceive. To your cat, a dark room is never truly dark. It's a dim, silver world full of shapes and movement. That corner you see as empty black shadow? Your cat sees detail there. But low light is only the beginning. Cats can also see faster than we can. Humans blend motion at around 60 frames per second. Cats process visual information far quicker, which means they can detect tiny, rapid movements that are completely invisible to the human eye. A flickering light, a trembling thread of a spiderweb, the near-invisible drift of a single floating mote. And here's the truly unsettling part. Some research suggests cats may even perceive a sliver of ultraviolet light, a part of the spectrum your eyes physically cannot register. Whole patterns, glowing traces, marks on the wall. Things that are genuinely there, that you will never, ever see. Now close your eyes and listen, because this is where it gets eerie. A cat's hearing is one of the sharpest in the entire animal kingdom. You can hear up to about 20,000 hertz. Your cat can hear up to 64,000. That high secret range is exactly where mice and insects communicate. So when your cat freezes and stares at a blank wall, it may be locked onto the ultrasonic squeak of a rodent moving inside that wall. The skitter of a beetle under the floorboards, a draft whistling through a gap too small to see. To you, the corner is silent. To your cat, it is loud. And then there's a sense your cat has that you don't have at all. On the roof of its mouth sits a tiny structure called the Jacobson's organ. It's a second smelling system, one that detects chemical signals floating invisibly through the air. You've seen your cat use it, that strange open-mouthed grimace, lips curled back, eyes half closed. In that moment, it's tasting the air. Pheromones, the faint trail of another animal that passed by hours ago. A scent drifting from a corner you walked past 100 times and never noticed. Your cat isn't just looking at empty space, it's reading a story written in molecules, one you can't even smell. Even your cat's whiskers are sensory instruments. Each one is rooted in a deep bed of nerves, so sensitive it can feel the gentlest shift in the air. When something moves nearby, a moth, a current of warm air rising, the tiny pressure wave of a door settling in another room. The whiskers register it before the eyes ever do. So picture the full system now. Eyes that see in the dark and beyond color. Ears that hear inside walls. A nose that tastes the air. And a face wrapped in living radar. Your cat isn't staring at nothing. Your cat is standing at the center of a flood of information you are simply not equipped to receive. But why the total frozen focus? Why does a soft, sleepy house pet suddenly become a statue carved out of pure attention? Because under that fur is a predator that hasn't changed in thousands of years. A cat's brain is wired to detect the smallest stimulus and lock onto it instantly. A survival instinct older than civilization. The slightest flicker triggers the ancient program: freeze, fixate, calculate. It doesn't matter that there's a food bowl in the kitchen. In that moment, your tiny living room lion is doing exactly what its ancestors did on the plains. Hunting something real, with senses tuned far beyond your own. So let's finally name the suspects. That empty corner is rarely empty at all. There's dust drifting in slow currents your cat can see and you can't. There are insects, spiders, silverfish, things tucked into cracks. There are sounds bleeding through the walls, pipes ticking, wood expanding, mice you'll never meet. There are reflections, a sliver of light off a passing car, a glint from a screen, bouncing somewhere your eye skips right over. Each one, on its own, is nothing. But to a creature built to notice everything, they're impossible to ignore. The mystery isn't that your cat sees ghosts. The mystery is how much of the world we walk right past. Now, one honest, important note. Most of the time, corner staring is completely normal. It's just your cat being a cat. But occasionally, it can be a sign worth watching. If your cat stares and twitches, if its skin ripples down its back, if it suddenly bolts or seems distressed for no reason, that can point to a condition called feline hyperesthesia. And in older cats, intense staring can sometimes connect to vision changes or other health issues. So you don't need to fear the corner, but you should know your cat. If the behavior is new, frequent, or paired with anything strange, a quick visit to the vet is always the wise move. So the next time you wake at 3 a.m. and find your cat locked onto something you cannot see, don't be afraid. There's no ghost in the corner, there's just a small, ancient hunter, living inside a world far richer than your own. A world of ultraviolet light, ultrasonic sound, scent trails and air currents, and 1,000 tiny movements you were never built to notice. Your cat isn't seeing another world. Your cat is simply seeing more of this one. Although if you ever catch them tracking something slowly across the ceiling, following it, gently, with their eyes, well, maybe don't look up. Sweet dreams.